Hello everybody, Flick here and welcome to my channel update for September 2016, complete with new Reinhardt t-shirt, which you probably can't see very well, but it says catchphrase along the bottom. There, kinda. I posted a proper picture of it on Twitter, if you want to see it. It is not official Blizzard merchandise, let's just put it that way. But still, I love it, and it arrived the other day there, so I'm wearing it with pride. With catchphrase pride. Anyway, we're here to do some patron shoutouts. I'm going to show off some fan art we've received as well, and also just kind of go over what's been happening on Twitch, what's been happening on YouTube, and where we're going forwards with that. So, there is a lot of names to shout out on... I was going to say on Twitter, that makes no sense. On Patreon. So, hang on, let me bring my list in front of me so I can at least look at the screen. It made me turn pale because it's bright white. Do that a little bit? No, that's not going to make anything better. But while I shout out these names, I will display on screen some of the fan art that the channel has received. There's some fantastic stuff in there. One of them actually got sent to Mafia Frog, not me, but I'm including it technically because we started a fantastic little storyline about Mafia Frog and an onion during a Monster Hunter recording session that was just hilarious. So you'll see that and a few other things while I read these names. So thank you to the following people who supported my channel via Patreon last month. Raptor 2020, Norman, Taya Blake, Carneris, Dracovian, Ryan Sadowski, Ni, I don't know how to pronounce this name, it's N-H-I-N-G, that's first name, second name, Ashley Pfeiffer, Apropos of Nothing, Screaming Violet, Michael Turner, Katie Chamberlain, Jared Tabor, Brian Hisu, or Sue, I guess, Lex C, Just Gaming, Naysala, who I now always pronounce as Naysalsa, Bradley Parry, Richard Bearwell, Aaron Neko Senpai Villasinor, I guess. Matsumuni. Did I say his name twice? Maybe I did. Terravolt, BGR Lucario, Hunger Pain, Grant Doty, Michael Smith, Peter Ferguson, Thaxton, Derek Williams, Savvy Geek Girl, Joshua Beyonsne, he told me how to pronounce this and I've already forgotten. Busine, Charlie Abrams, Megan Perry, Andrew Highgate, Rachel Weber, Brian O'Connor, Brandon Finney, Brad Beck, there's a lot of B names together for just a random chance, Brad Beck, Diva Mage, Dystopian Lad, Terrell Smith, James Woody Packard III, Dwayne Kellogg, Colton Pierce, Reese Leon, D, or Die, I guess, Paul Mayer, that one guy with the face, Yuki, Casper MH, Jack, and the newbie, not to be confused with the other one who had a similar name once. There we are. That was a lot of names to get through, but that just shows how many people are willing to go above and beyond to support what I do for a living, and that is greatly appreciated. In the long term, I currently rent. I am looking to perhaps buy my own place. It would mean downsizing, but it would also mean ownership rather than renting, which appeals to me in the long term. So just know that the money I earn from YouTube, Twitch, and above and beyond support, I'm not frittering it away and spending it on crap. I'm creating a nest egg that will hopefully create long-term security. That's my plan. Patreon stuff, though, more so, it gets held to one side in case I need to replace hardware. Like, for example, recently the 3DS that broke, or if my microphone was to crap out, or my headset, or anything. That's what that money gets used for. It gets used to cover hardware failure, mostly. On the subject of Patreon as well, because of last month's level of support, Dark Souls is now running. We have a series on it. There's episodes going up on YouTube. It's being live streamed, the recording sessions of it. We've done 2 so far, 3 maybe. We're getting through it. I don't think I've reached any kind of level of salt that people were hoping for with the return to Dark Souls 1, a game I notoriously don't like. But you'll see it eventually. The first half of that game is pretty tame compared to Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3. It's the latter half that's garbage, the stuff that couldn't be arsed finishing. That's where the salt will happen. So it will come. On that subject, there is also the new salt emote. Kurt is also working on the other 3, and if we hit a subscriber goal of 250, we will unlock 2 more, and I'll get Elle to do those 2. What they'll be, just have to wait and see. Now, I think last channel update I was talking about perhaps setting the goal at 200. The reason I upped it to 250 is for 2 reasons. 1, so it's more of a long-term goal rather than a short-term goal. And 2, at 250, that's when the 2 new emote slots get unlocked. So it wasn't me being greedy, but it was adding an extra reward that's built into Twitch. So that was the idea there. So Dark Souls is running. That's kind of replaced Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, because we finished playing through that. I'm still kind of playing on and off as and when DLC is released. Like right now I'm also doing the first big proper DLC, which is called... what is it called? Hang on. Something Shift, I think. Nope, system Rift. Rift, shift. Wires were crossed, but that's what we're playing. It's a bit more substantial than the first Jensen's story they added. It also cost money, whereas the first one was free, so that explains it. That's going to be filtered in, but mostly it's going to be Dark Souls in terms of like live recorded series on the Twitch side of things. Monster Hunter every Saturday is still going to continue. They tend to get backlogged a bit more than I would like, so what I'll probably do is like every second Saturday or maybe every third, I'll have, rather than an episode recording session, have a farming session and just do it as one big episode. And if people want to ignore it because it's farming, that's fair enough. So that's that side of things. Let's look at... There's a siren going off in the background. Police car, I think. That's that side of things rather. Twitch will continue streaming things like Overwatch, miscellaneous stuff like Golf with Your Friends. In terms of series recording, Dark Souls and the Deus Ex DLC, and Monster Hunter on Saturdays. On the YouTube side, Enter the Gungeon, Let's Look At, and that's about it in terms of the stuff that's specifically just being recorded off camera outside of stuff like these channel updates and any other like unboxings and whatnot I do. I'm recording a lot more on the Twitch side. I want to try and make sure I don't lean too heavily into Twitch because I want to be balanced, ideally. So I might try and find something else I can record just in my own time, rather than just focus on Let's Look At. Although to be honest, a lot of them are building up now. In other news, in terms of like on the YouTube side, I have done my first sponsorship for a long time in an Overwatch video. It was just a little one. It was a one-time thing, a one-off just agreement about an app that I still use on my phone. The reaction to it was amazing, and I'm amazed. I'm amazed at the amazing reaction because I honestly thought there'd be a lot of backlash for a YouTuber slash Twitch streamer, whatever, needing slash wanting to find other revenue sources. We have to, pretty much, because ad revenue is so bad. So I'm glad that most of you seem fine with it. I didn't see any pushback at all, actually. So thank you for that. It's not going to be a thing constantly. That one in particular was a one-time deal. I've noticed since getting 100,000 subscribers, I'm getting approached about them a lot more. Most of them I turn down or just don't ask for any more details because they don't interest me. If they're connected to what I do or what I think the audience will enjoy, I'll look more into them. But by and large, you're probably not going to see them very frequently outside of the chrono.gg stuff where it's not technically sponsorship because I'm not being paid to make anything. I get benefited if you happen to buy the game that they have on offer that day. So the chrono.gg stuff I'm trying to do like maybe only 2 times a month, if that. And that'll be there now and then. I'll probably do little short preview videos of those as and when they come. Streaming wise, I don't think there's anything that's going to be filtered in to the regular schedule in terms of like party games. Brawlhalla, maybe. Other than that, no specific plans. But going ahead, there is of course Monster Hunter Stories next month. It's a Japanese release. We played the demo. It's going to be tough to play in Japanese because it's so much more story focused than a standard Monster Hunter game, but it's also so different. I'm going to give it a go. I don't know how far we're going to get into it. It depends how complicated the upgrading is and whether I can get through it with my toddler level understanding of Japanese plus translation apps. But I am going to attempt that, so that'll be October. And then also in November, I think the new Pokemon games are out. That probably will be live streamed because I want to involve my Twitch subs and my Patreon backers by naming Pokemon after them. So that's another series that will be live recorded rather than offline stuff. But I kind of like that with doing so much on the Twitch side, I'm able to focus on the, I don't know what, if I want to call it more professional content like the Let's Look At's. I still kind of treat them the same as I would any other video. But it lets me at least, put on my journalistic hat a little bit by showing you off a game and trying to seriously decide whether or not it's something you should be interested in. Although, with those videos, for the most part, I just like showing off the game. I want to encourage you to make your own decision rather than do what I say. That's what that is. What else? Let's see. Let's handle the schedule. We've handled fan art. We've handled the Patreon stuff. In terms of stuff that's happening really soon, you'll be seeing this on Monday, the final Monday of September. This is also usually my day off, however, it will not be as I've been chosen for jury duty. So if I actually get picked to serve on the jury, that might impede my ability to record for the next little while. It depends how long the case lasts. I don't know any details yet and couldn't share them even if I wanted to, because that's against the law. It shouldn't affect the live streams as we cross over into October, unless I need an extra day off. Depends how harrowing it is. In terms of the day recording though, it will. So I have a bit of a backlog. I've got mostly Monster Hunter episodes. I'm going to record a bunch of Gungeon after this. But if there is a slowness in video releases over the next week into the first week of October, that's the reason why. Nothing out of the ordinary. I've done it before, but just letting you know. Now let me decide if that's everything I wanted to talk about. I think that's about it. Let me just check my emails in case I had any reminders. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. Oh, actually no, there was one more thing. One of the perks for hitting 100,000 subscribers on YouTube is you actually get a direct line of contact to YouTube. You get a handler, I guess, at YouTube, whether you're with a multi-channel network or not. A human you can actually talk to about stuff. And the lady who got paired up with me, she's helped offer some advice. She went deep into the analytics of my channel and said, hey, did you know you've done thumbnails for this percentage and not this percentage? Did you know you've done cards for this percentage and what that means for mobile views and how big the average mobile view is now, which is ridiculously large for watching videos on a mobile phone. Anyway, the point is, we got in touch again for another little update, how I'd adapted to the things she'd suggested the first time and what I wanted to happen going forwards. So 2 good things happened there. One, I got verified on YouTube. Similarly to if you're verified on Twitter, it means you get a little tick next to your name in your comments on your channel. Doesn't mean anything. It means you're recognised by YouTube as a brand. That technically doesn't do anything, but it might mean that if someone is looking for videos and they spot someone with a tick, they know that's someone who has established themselves. So it might have kind of like outside benefits, but not necessarily, it's not going to literally give you better SEO, let's put it that way. It's still a nice achievement to reach. And no, by the way, my award from YouTube has not arrived yet. The post might arrive while I'm recording this. It'd be funny if it arrived today, but we've been waiting for like ages. Anyway, the other thing that came out of that was I kind of pitched, not the problem with my YouTube channel, but something I was curious about. So I was saying to the lady, hey, most of my subscribers over the past few months are totally into Overwatch. They're just so into it. They always watch that. A few of them have filtered over to other series, many of them haven't. What can I do to encourage them, or just get them to try another series, see if there's another game I've covered that they might just enjoy because it's similar, or because they just like the way I play it. And the general advice she got back to me with was, just ask them. I know it sounds stupid and so obvious, but calls to action work really well on YouTube. So this is kind of like an attempt at a call to action, because I know that these vlogs get a little bit more views than they used to because people like looking at my bizarre face. So I'm kind of pitching it to you. I've also put in the defaults for every video I upload now that there'll be a link to my playlists of everything I've ever covered since 2007. So if you are only here for Overwatch and you're literally not interested in anything else, and you only watch the Overwatch, you don't care that it's me playing it, if you know what I mean, then that's fine. I'm still playing it, I'm still uploading highlights, I'm still doing VODs that are ridiculously long, trying to mix up who I'm playing with in smaller groups now rather than larger groups to try and keep things varied. That's fine, but I would ask you maybe, give the playlist list a look. I didn't want to say list again because I knew that sounded weird, but I needed that in there. Give it a look, you might see something you like. A lot of people have gone over to Enter the Gungeon, I guess because that's also got a bunch of weird guns, and I guess you could argue that Overwatch does too. So I can see the kind of crossover there. On the subject of Gungeon, I have started doing it on live stream more often, so that's going to counter the fact that the episodes that I pre-record are a bit slower. But yeah, I would encourage you, it'll be in the description box for this video as well. Check out the other playlists, give some games a go. If you want some suggestions, if you like me playing Dark Souls 1 right now on stream, there's tons of playlists for Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, there's some really, really old videos, not HD, of Demon Souls, and there's tons of Bloodborne. Bloodborne was fantastic. So if you want a Dark Souls-esque game, there's tons of that. If you like Monster Hunter, covered plenty of Monster Hunter games. If you want stuff that's similar to Overwatch, long time ago did some TF2 videos, so there's some long VODs of that. Well, not VODs, they weren't live streamed, but you know what I mean. What else fits into Overwatch? I'm not sure, I haven't really played that many character-based shooters prior to Overwatch, other than TF2, which I've played for years. So I'm not sure. First-person shooters, there's been a few. In terms of like maybe hidden gems, I would say check out Dragon's Dogma. It's a fantastic Dark Souls-esque game by Capcom that mixes in Monster Hunter elements. It's really, really good, and the PC port was fantastic. The Dead Rising 3 playthrough I did with CR I think was pretty fun as well. I'm not sure what else. There's tons of stuff there, but it's hard to judge where that crossover is. But if you do decide to go check something out, let me know. comment on it saying, hey, I saw you mention that you have a playlist of a bunch of other games, so I came and found this and I enjoyed it. Because I want to know if it works. Because I don't like pushing people, I like gently encouraging people to do stuff. That's why I remember a long time ago in channel updates I was talking about doing a little series on, here's some tips on how to get by on YouTube. I don't think I'm the best person to ask. I'm going to go into more detail when I record a Gungeon run after this, because I want something to talk about while I play Gungeon. And for some reason I've decided to do that. But there's a lot of stuff on YouTube where you can do it and you're not breaking the rules, but you're kind of skirting the rules. You're riding the line, and I don't do those things because I think it's unethical. But within the rules, it's fine. So if you were to ask me for advice on YouTube, I wouldn't tell you to be doing these things that are technically allowed because I think they're wrong. So I don't think I'm the best person to ask for advice, to be honest. That said, I will try and share some helpful tips now and then. But you know, there's a Let's Play subreddit with a wiki that has tons of articles written by people with much bigger channels than mine. They're good places to learn how to do YouTube. And I think that about covers everything I wanted to talk about today. Going forwards, talked about that, what series are going on right now. If you have any suggestions for things you'd like to see, by all means suggest. Just don't expect me to definitely do them, because I'm kind of looking for, you know, advice, comments, but not orders. One last thing before I go though, because I forgot to show it off at the start. You might have seen on Twitter that, again, I get a monthly Japanese candy thing from a place called Akashi Connection, and I just found this so ridiculous that I love it. This is, kind of like theirs. This is Evangelion versus Godzilla ramen, and it's I think it's like what, spicy chicken and garlic. And is that not just ridiculous? It also comes with like a little sumo thing on the back where you're supposed to cut out the symbols and have sumo matches. Is that an actual movie? Because if it is, I kind of want to see it. I want to see Evangelion versus Godzilla, and I want Godzilla to win. But yeah, that's just so weird. I love it. And also, in the most recent box, they actually also sent me a very nice note with some Mario stickers and some Dragon Ball Z cards saying thank you for all the retweets, because I retweet everything they talk about, because they talk about like new candies that have come to Japan or just what goes on over there, a lot of culture stuff. It's not sponsored, again. Akashi Connection, I like it because it's a small family business run out of Japan that does stuff I'm interested in. They have a referral program, and I've never taken advantage of it because I want to stay neutral, as it were. I want it to be a genuine endorsement rather than one where I benefit. So if you're after Japanese monthly candy, I would definitely encourage you to look at them. I retweet them sometimes, they're on Twitter. They don't take in more people than they can manage though, so you might have to go on a waiting list for a slot to open up, which is again, I think, a good thing. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thanks for watching all the content, or some of the content. That goes for live streams as well. There's more emotes on the way as Kurt finishes them. And there's daily videos. At least 2 a day, and sometimes bonus ones thrown up, like if they're highlights from Overwatch matches or whatever. Thanks very much for listening to my rambling today, and I shall see you next month for another update. Ta-ta for now.